Welcome officially to today's session, a session in the memory of my late father, his third death anniversary special, the first webinar of the day, as you already know, that we will be having 3 webinars in the day today. And this is one occasion that I always don't mourn about. I rather feel a joyous occasion in my life where I am actually carrying forward my dad's legacy. So the first session this morning at 7 a.m. on 30th June, Thursday, as I see outside the window of my clinic, it is cloudy. It is almost about to rain. My memories first go back to the same day 3 years back when I was in Vapi, Valsad. I was about to reach, I was on board the Rajdhani Express and I was about to reach Vapi, and I had a whole day lecture over there. And of course, Vapi that day had 184 mm of rain. It was humongous by any occasion. Sometimes in Punjab, in the dry monsoon months, we usually have the whole, you can say, less than 180 rain in the whole season. And Vapi that day had 184 rain. But yes, brings back the old memories. I won't call it wounds. Not happy also, but those are memories which are etched forever in my space. So let's begin today's session and give you a brief introduction about the AIS, the TIS, and the 26AS. So this is one form which many of us don't know. Many of us don't know. The funny thing is people didn't know even about 26AS, which is existing since centuries. Of course, not exactly centuries. What I mean to say, since the time the income tax department came online in 2006 or 7, the same scope was expanded in the form of AIS. The main reason underlying only behind this is to increase tax compliance. So do you need to know this? Do you need to be aware about this? Are you can say, in sync with the changing times? Let's find out. So setting the context for today. So as usual, all my presentations will always begin with thanks the Lord Almighty who's given me much more than what I deserve. And of course, the finance session has to be with Dad only. It's in his day only that I celebrate the mini day of education. So this is my brief CV. You all are aware of it by now. So I won't waste much time over there. So the topic for today's session is AIS or 26AS. What is the difference between both of them? So there are a lot of new slides in this. People who have attended my session, those who know it, they will still also find a few new things in there. So the AIS-TIS-26AS Conundrum in ITR, what it is inescapable, accountable, responsible, and of course, transparent. I'll narrate a very short story about it. Before I start the story, I know many of you might be alien to this terminology. So let us first understand what are all these 26AS, AIS, TIS, and then I'll begin further. The funniest part is that colleagues don't even know the 26AS, which is like centuries old, as I said. Not centuries exactly, but many years old since the income tax department came online in the year 2006-7. So 26AS is basically a tax summary where you find your TDS deducted, where you find your income tax refund, where you find your advance tax paid, your regular tax paid, and then it was a little bit expanded to have AIR over there. AIR was annualized information return. Then as more and more black money increased, AIR was replaced by SFT, specified financial transactions or statement of financial transactions, which were high value transactions which were being reported by the income tax department or by the financial institutions to the income tax department. So 26AS, I have always been warning colleagues, those at least who have done my workshop, I always tell them that keep checking this every week. The worst part is people don't know how to access it, because most of the times the things are handled by CA, and in spite of this being your login through your PAN on the income tax website, the same password is being held by C. Many times in the past, many of my workshop participants expressed their inability that, "Sir, my CA is not giving me password. How should I do it? How should I reset it? What is the way to go about it?" There were multiple ways. But then this is one point I need all of you to understand. Whether or not you knew about 26AS or not, you need to surely know about AIS and TIS. And I'm not joking. Let's move ahead and you can say tell you details about firstly about 26AS and then AIS and TIS. So I always used to fondly call 26AS as the alternate Janam Kundli. I always used to say एक जन्म कुंडली आपके पंडित जी बनाते हैं आपके बर्थ पे, एक इनकम टैक्स वाले बनाते हैं. Of course, this alternate Janam Kundli never came into existence because, again, if I go a little biased, the Janam Kundli culture is limited to the Hindu religion, not to Sikhs or Christians or Muslims in that sense. But the alternative of the alternate Janam Kundli, AIS, is applicable to everyone. Why I say so? Because the scope has been expanded so much. You get a lot of visual and graphic and pictorial slides today. All of those will contain the contents of what I'm trying to tell you. 26AS was basically your PAN related information. How much the government has received tax on your PAN, how much TDS has been deducted, how much refunds made to you. It was, you can say, a simplistic format. Till AIR and SFT came into picture. AIR, as I said, annualized information return, and SFT was specified financial transaction or statement of financial transaction. Now, 26AS is a tax summary statement which contains all the tax payments. It was from A to G, Part A to Part G. A had A1 and A2 as well. A1, A2, B, C, D, E, F, G. Then last year, it was expanded to include Part H also. So this was one document. Always the CAs, if not you, the CAs always refer to 26AS as the starting point. Your bank passbook of the deposits you made of all your accounts, multiple passbooks or multiple statements, I mean, for the whole year, and 26AS are the two most important documents for a self-employed when they have to file the ITR. For a salaried guy, 26AS, bank passbooks, and Form 16 used to be, which is now changed into Form 16A, B, C, and up to so many things which are being added, which changes which I'll be discussing in the tonight 8 p.m. session as well. So this can be downloaded from the Income Tax India website, Income Tax India e-filing. There is another way to log in through the Traces portal. I'll tell you that also. What I always advise is to keep checking once every week. Now, 26AS is updated usually every second week, every third week or so. Sometimes every week or so. Depends upon the transactions you make. But unfortunately, AIS is updated at the end of the financial year. So financial year 21-22, which just finished on 31st March, uska AIS अब June के first week में जाके upload हुआ. Almost after, you can say, 3 months of the year elapsed. But you need to continuously monitor it. You will need to monitor at least 26AS till the time it is existing. What does it contain? Details of tax deducted, details of tax collected, advance tax paid, self-assessment tax paid, regular assessment tax paid, details of refund received, and of course, details of the high value transactions, earlier known as AIR, now SFT, in respect of shares and mutual funds. How they make the link, I will let you know. So there are two ways of viewing it, either on the income tax website or downloaded from the Traces portal. Usually the date of birth is the, you can say, the password for opening up your form which you download from the Traces portal. So anyone who's having a PAN number and a login, of course, if you're filing your return, you are not allowed to file a manual return. So I don't presume that you don't have a password for your income tax website. The PAN is your login, along with the CAPTCHA code, along with your password. You have to log in over there. And this is a free facility. This is for you to be aware of all your numbers. So let's see what it is. Usually I used to give the old site demo also, but then new site is into function since the past 1 year, June 2021, it went into upgrade mode. So when you open up, log in through your website or log in through the income tax department website, this is the dashboard of the income tax government of India website. There are multiple, you can say, drop down menus: dashboard, e-file, authorized partner services, pending actions, grievance, and help. So when you drop down the e-file menu, there will be income tax returns, income tax forms, submit tax evasion petition or Banami Prodopti. Just go on income tax returns. You will further have a drop down menu in the form of 5 options: file income tax return, view filed returns, e-verify return, view form 26AS, and download pre-filled data. So when you click on view form 26AS, another window will open up like this. You will be redirected to the TDS CPC. CPC is Centralized Processing Center. TDS is TDS Reconciliation Cell Traces Portal, so which is again used by the Government of India. So this is a, you can say, a necessary step and a completely safe, since it is a government website. So it will redirect you to the Traces website once you click confirm over it. And once you click confirm, the Traces website opens up. The Traces is nothing but TDS Reconciliation Analysis and Correction Enabling System. So once you click I agree to the usage and acceptance of Form 1616A, click proceed, this site becomes active. Now this drop down, the window, the pop-up window which was there in the previous, this disappears and you get this annual tax statement. Just click on this view tax credit form 26AS, and your form, this page will come where you select the assessment year. The assessment is always one ahead of the financial year. For example, for FY 21-22, which just finished, the assessment year would be 22-23. Similarly, for previous financial year 2021, the assessment year would be 21-22. Because we earn in a financial year, we file our returns in the next financial year, which is known as the assessment year. Or we earn in 1 year and assess and file our returns and pay our taxes in the next year, which is known as the assessment year. So income tax forms, income tax terminology, income tax mails, income tax TDS websites, your advanced tax, your regular tax, every terminology works in the assessment year format and not in the financial year format. So just click on assessment year, view as HTML or PDF, whichever way you want to export it, you can. Normally you can click HTML and view here. Once you view it, you click view, everything would be available for you. Now this was in brief about the form 26AS, what it used to contain and what it, you can say, has the scope and expansion covered into it. So good things were there on their way. It had a lot of glitches. The new ITD portal, which was launched with much fanfare after a 7-day, you can say, shutdown from 31st May. It actually got shut down on 26th of May only. And then it was supposed to premiere on 7 June, but it never premiered till 18 June or so. So almost, you can say, more than 3 weeks. But there were a lot of glitches because of which the return dates were extended. People, CAs, all of us had a torrid time accessing the website. There are still a few bugs, but mostly things are now stabilized on the new portal. But yes, all said and done, the old portal was very user friendly, very fast, very effective. Probably the reason I can think of is it was not good enough to handle the amount of database the government is expecting this year or each year. It used to crash when multiple people used to be filing the ITRs. It had a great history of crashing almost even 2 days before. Yes, you can expect a last day rush, but even 2 to 3 days before it used to crash. So probably the server was not big enough to handle it. This is the reason. Otherwise, there was almost no complaint by even any CA from the old income tax website, apart from crashing on the last dates or so. So a new compliance portal was added into the new income tax department website. Why? When they already had form 26AS, तो क्या जरूरत थी ऐड करने? अब इसमें एक्सपैंड किया स्कोप एंड इंफॉर्मेशन. इसमें सब हाई वैल्यू ट्रांजैक्शंस आ गई, हर तरह के कैश डिपॉजिट और कैश विड्रॉल्स आ गए. अगर आपने 50 लाख से ऊपर किया, दे विल बी रिपोर्टेड. इवन इफ यू मेक डिपॉजिट्स ऑफ 10 लाख in a financial year, even those are reported by the banks or any financial institution. So all these were earlier a part of the AIR or the SFT, but they used to be missed out. They were not regular. Now the banks are under the radar. They face consequences from the RBI if they don't comply with the given set protocol. Every second, third day, we keep on listening. HDFC Bank fined this much, SBI Bank fined this much, Axis Bank fined this much for non-complying of a few things. They always find a few crores for such purposes. The long-term aim is that the AIS is set to replace Form 26AS in coming years once the things stabilize. And as of now, both are existing parallelly. But if you find any anomaly in AIS, the 26AS holds the upper hand in being regarded as what is more accurate. Because in AIS, there are multiple sources. As I said, it is a kind of a duplicate 26AS. It is an alternative of the alternate Janam Kundali. But it is much more detailed, much more elaborate. The first official intimation came in just before the Diwali week. And to surprise you all, it was launched in a, you can say, beta mode just before Holi. Holi was around about 27th March 2021. It was launched in January only, but Income Tax Department sent notices to people. So many of our WhatsApp community group members received notices. 26th, 27th, 28th of May. And they were given 3 days to comply because 31st March was the last day to file a revised ITR at that point of time. Of course, now the things have changed. You can file a, you can say, a revised ITR under the name of ITR-U, ITR updated. So, of course, those changes I'll be telling you in the evening 8 p.m. session. But before the Diwali holidays, the official intimation came that AIS has been launched. Now, what was available in the Holy Week was for FY 19-20, for the previous year. And that was available on a separate compliance portal website link, which is still available on the separate link only. What was intimated just before the Diwali holidays in October 21 was a AIS portal, again a part of the compliance portal only, but it was for FY 2021. So imagine the year ended 7 months back in March 2021. AIS is being uploaded in the month of October end, or rather just in the Diwali was 4th of November. So just in the end of October, almost 7 months after the year elapsed. That is the primary reason the dates were extended for the filing of ITR. Of course, COVID second wave was a reason in that. So it was notified over there and people were told to comply and corroborate and compare. It was still not complete. It was still not complete. There were few entry missings. There were few things missing, but the income tax department and the banks were more prepared this time. The year ended on 31st March. The banks were given a deadline of 31st May. Most of them complied by 18th of May, as you will see in the photographs. And all the things were included in this, all the possible things, including the post office saving account, including the post office term deposit, MIS, everything is included. You'll see, I'll be showing you a demo form of a salaried and a self-employed both, the AIS and the TIS of both of them. So some of you may have filed your ITR by now for the financial year 21-22. I mean April 21 to March 22. But most of you would be filing your ITR by next month. July 31 should be the date. I don't expect much of delay this time. Maximum they may allow 5 to 10 days of extension, but not beyond that. For those of you who have filed or not filed, depending upon your situation, I would advise you to first download your AIS and file your ITR accordingly, revised or fresh if you have done so. Then file a revised one or file a fresh one in sync with your numbers in AIS. Do not even miss a single entry. Otherwise, you will get a love letter from your income tax department. So the AIS was actually having all the view of information of your interest, your dividend, your securities transactions, your mutual fund transactions, your foreign remittance, every damn thing possible that you do. जिन लोगों को लगता था ना कि मेरा ए अकाउंट है, मेरा बी अकाउंट है, मेरा 1 नंबर, मेरा 2 नंबर जो इनकम टैक्स मैंने रिटर्न में नहीं दिखाया, सब विजिबल है, सब कुछ विजिबल है. So how can you access it? Again, from the income tax website, I'll show you the demo. So display of form 26AS will also continue in parallel till this is validated and becomes completely operational. Then 26AS might be taken off. So let's come to the demo part first. So when you open up your login, as I told you, 26AS lies in this menu, e-file. Now AIS lies in services menu. Drop down the menu, rectification, refund reissue, condonation request, generate EVC, manage ITD reporting, ITD REIN, download EPAN, view or download EPAN. Some of you may be needing it, may not be having it. You can download it directly. And the AIS, Annualized Information Statement. Once you click it, it will give your way to the compliance portal. So on click of proceed button, you will be redirected to the AIS homepage on compliance portal. Again, you have to click proceed. Once you click proceed, the compliance portal will open up. It will open up like this only. AIS, e-campaign, activity history, resources, ratas, help, and instructions page will open up. How to download AIS? Shift the tab or shift the mouse cursor to here, AIS, and you will get your AIS drop down page. Once you click this AIS, you get this kind of a page. Of course, with the financial year, I told you 1920 is not rightly there. It has to be logged in a different way. But this is there. Your PAN number and name would be visible here. Of course, I have marked that out. Belongs to one of my clients, of course, for whose I have been doing financial analysis. So you will have taxpayer summary, TIS, and the AIS. So you can drop down. You can download it by using these icons. So this also has a facility to capture feedback. As I told you, e-campaign or activity history. E-campaign will have the feedback if you find that certain information that you have encountered in the AIS is not belonging to you. There might be a wrong entry sometimes. Generally it is, because 26 also AIS also used to have similar things. So if you come across such entries, you can report them via your feedback that this dividend does not belong to me. Last year I had a over-reported dividend. So I filed it as per my own information, what I had in my bank statement, and I reported the same, that this entry is null and void. What they did with that, it is their prerogative. I'm not going to go into that. मैं पहले ज़्यादा का भरूं, then उनसे refund मांगूं, all that. I deducted it according to what was present in my statement. Of course, notified them. So this information has been processed to remove duplicate information. You can download AIS in PDF, JSON, CSV format. CSV is Excel format. JSON is a utility format, and PDF we all know is the Adobe Reader format. So if you feel anything is there, you can submit your online feedback. If you feel anything which has been submitted is incorrect, so you can say submit your information in bulk also if you find multiple entries over there. This AIS utility is there to upload the feedback as well. So once you upload it, it will be existing over there. It will show you when did you do it. People sometimes say हमने तो खोला ही नहीं, हमने तो देखा नहीं. Every activity history is tracked in the AIS. How many times you opened up, how many times you downloaded it, at what time, what date, everything would be there. Everything has been set in over there. Of course, last year there were no, even the site had glitches till as late as November. The last date was 31st December to file. Almost nil glitches were reported during the filing, or you can say the crashing of the website. It never happened. Probably this is the reason the site was updated. So again, a TIS has also been generated. TIS is basically the summary of all your sources, all your spends or investments which are existing in your linked with your PAN. So that is the reason the government made the first step was making the Aadhaar, then making Aadhaar compulsory for everyone, then linking the PAN with the Aadhaar. Of course, in between there came a phase of demonetization, and of course, you can say opening of Jan Dhan bank accounts for almost everyone in India, encouraging digital payments after demonetization, and then linked with your income tax. Then began the full, you can say, full on procedure where everything was going to be predefined, and it was long overdue. So many less people file ITRs, leave alone pay taxes. They file, you can say, very just 6% of Indians file income tax. I don't believe 94% of Indians are not earning. So we need to understand it is the load on the taxpayer only, which is supposed to be lessened after this exercise. So under the e-campaign, as I said, you can submit your feedback that the transaction doesn't belong to me. Of course, you can validate if you are a GST. The traders can also validate their information related to their GST site. So we are not coming under GST, so nothing pertaining to us in this regard. So also, it identifies taxpayers who had high value transactions like in IT return file नहीं करे. People who say नहीं मेरा तो बैंक अकाउंट है ही नहीं है, सब आ जाएगा वहाँ. As per the RBI data, जब आधार पैन की लिंकिंग का हुआ था, तो ऑलमोस्ट 90% अकाउंट्स पिछले 4 साल से लिंक हो चुके हैं. जो नहीं हुए हैं वो डॉर्मेंट हैं, डिसीज्ड हैं या जो भी हैं, उनमें वैसे ही you can say there is a ban. Somebody comes to operate those accounts, they have to first do a KYC in the form of Aadhaar and PAN, then only they can operate account. So if some accounts are working, they will surely have the Aadhaar and PAN already linked. Irrespective of whatever Supreme Court says or not, no account is without Aadhaar or PAN. So the main aim is to increase the compliance and take this number of 6, 7, 8 crores of IT filers to at least 15 crores by this year. Already 1.5 crore increased last year. So this year, I expect further higher numbers, courtesy the expansive nature of the AIS. And AIS has come online pretty much on time in the first week of June to give people time till the end of July, whole of July. Today is 30th June. Whole of July is left to, you can say, check and analyze your AIS and TIS and then file your ITR based on that. So all the high value information will be there. It is like a SFT or AIR information which is there. So you can, when you are giving your feedback, you can use these options. Information is correct, information is not fully correct, information relates to another person or financial year, information is duplicate or means it is in a double way or a part of other information, or you deny the information that it does not belong to. Correct, not fully correct, belongs to another year or another person, is a repeat entry, and is not belonging to me at all. Of course, IT department in India exists like it is like a voluntary compliance. You always assess your own income yourself and file taxes, pay taxes and file your ITRs based on your own voluntary tax compliance. But if the department finds that this guy has invested 6 lakhs in mutual funds, his total ITR value is 5 lakhs, that means he is not disclosing his full income. A point which I discussed last night also in the finale session. The problem is some people are aware, they keep investing, but they forget that the income has also to be in sync with that. So you can finish your compliance before you get a love letter. You will get multiple chances. They give you chances कि आपकी entry मिली है high value transaction. आप इसके बारे में क्या कहना चाहते हैं? Said information is denied or information accepted. If you accept the information, file a revised ITR, pay taxes, everything is sorted out. But if you know it belongs to you and you still keep on denying, then they contact you with full arms and ammunition. Many times in the close by banks, whenever I go for a banking purpose, I find someone with an ID card sitting over there on further probing. Usually, sometimes you see he's from the income tax department asking for the statement of a specific account. And then they corner you with the evidence and the proof. And then that is the time when you are not going to escape with a higher penalty also. Because their ways, you can say, their agenda is one line in this today's world. We know what you know. You may have denied them the information, but they already have it. They already know about it. So the AIS and TIS is literally a dangerous thing, very, very dangerous thing for perennial liars. Those who keep on denying that, no, I'm sorry, I don't have it, I don't need it, I'm not having tax liability. Everything that they deny can be proved otherwise. In cases after validation, they will issue love letters or notices in suitable cases for assessment or reassessment. And although the time period for 6 years or 7 years were reduced to 3 years, that they can't open up beyond 3 years, in special cases they open up as long as even 10 to 12 years. Then फिर पिछले 10, 12, 15 साल का सबका खुलता है कि भाई साहब आप कितने साल से टैक्स चोरी कर रहे हैं, आ जाओ अब पिछले सारे साल का बैक डेट में जाके फाइलिंग करें. Nobody has the documents also. So it is done proportionally based on that sometimes or at the discretion of the ITO. So how your money transactions are tracked and reported? Cash paid to banks 10 lakhs or more, reporting organization. If you cash paid to purchase prepaid instruments 10 lakh or more in a year, cash deposits or withdrawals 50 lakh or more, cash deposit in one or more account of a person rupees 10 lakh or more, all time deposits, time means the fixed deposits only, made in a financial year 10 lakh or more, credit card payments in cash 1 lakh or more, in any other manner 10 lakh or more. So receipt from any bonds or debentures 10 lakh or more, receipt from any persons acquiring shares 10 lakh or more, buyback of shares 10 lakh, receipt of any mutual fund units 10 lakh or more. So all these are reported transactions, but 10 lakh or more is the only point to fool you. They actually do much more than that. Then foreign currency transactions, receipt or expense of 10 lakh or more, immovable property 30 lakh or more. Again, the book value, not the actual value. The book value is जो उसकी registered value होती है, उसको गिनते हैं. Then sales of goods or services, receipt of cash payment for sale by any person of any nature 2 lakh or more. इसलिए बोलता हूँ मैं क्लिनिक में कभी भी 2 लाख से ऊपर की पेमेंट कैश में मत लो. वर्कशॉप के टाइम पे ये चीज बहुत बारी लोगों को बताता हूँ, रूटीन में भी बहुत बार बताई है. लोगों का ना वो एक माइंडसेट है, सर 50 वैसे ले लें, वो वैसे ले लें, सर 2 लाख तक वो ले लेते हैं, बाकी फिर वो ले लें. पीपल ट्राई टू फाइंड आउट द लूप होल्स इन द सिस्टम, ट्राई टू फाइंड आउट अ वे आउट. इफ इट इज अ लॉ, it is a law. Usually for FMR cases, for implant cases, multiple implant cases, where you know before the start that your budget is going to be above 2 lakh, you can't receive even 1 rupee of that patient in cash. On the flip side, if that patient needs a bill, what will you do? How will you justify a bill of 3 lakh? Of course, you're giving bill for you took 3 lakhs, you're giving bill for 3 lakhs. Will you write cash entries? Now that bill goes for reimbursement. At that point only it will be tracked. This was a cash payment reported to the IT department. Everyone comes into the tax net. This guy has a black income, he's spending in black. This guy is receiving above 2 lakhs. Aaja beta, audit karao apne accounts ka. So the compliance portal 1920 was on a different way, but of course 2021, 21, 22 is on a different way. So this was of the 1920. I told you have to open up compliance portal in an indirect way. Thereby you can access 1920. The previous one used to have, you can say, the payment of taxes, other information, but even after the 1920, which when it was in beta mode, this has been extended further. The extended way I have already shown you in the previous slides. Interest income, activity history. People who deny, we never opened up the site. Everything is tracked. As I say, finance doesn't work without tracking. The number of metrics that you have will decide what all you are going to do. Then this is the way of feedback. Significant transactions, non-filing of return, high value transactions. They'll send you love letter. A significant transaction has been reported. What do you have to say? You accept it. Yes, it belongs to me. Sorry, I missed it out of hindsight. They know you did not miss it on hindsight. You just deliberately avoided it. But they will still give you a chance for a voluntary compliance. Koi baat. File a revised ITR, pay taxes with a little bit of penalty, and of course, file your updated ITR. This is the way you can still get free. But why give yourself such a situation where you have to live under stress for a few days when you receive a love letter from them? So always be aware of this thing, of all the parts of analyze information statement. So let us see what are the contents of AIS and TIS. I'll break down further. So income tax department from the second week of June has been sending. I got this message myself. Even many of my family members got it. You also might have got it because it is sent in an automated mode. In the second week, dear, your PAN number would be there wherever you have received the message. Just search it out in your mobile phones. They send a SMS, not the WhatsApp. They send, please file ITR for AY 2223. AY 2223 means financial year 21-22. At www.incometax.gov.in. Verify data of your form 26AS, AIS and other documents before submission. E-filing team, ITD, Income Tax Department. So they're already sending the message, reconcile. If you are getting it, the CAs already know it, but they now know it that the government is going to further tighten the noose. There is no way escaping out. So I'll show you both AIS and TIS for a salaried and a self-employed as a diff. What all it can contain. So this is for firstly for the salaried, one of the latest of one of my participants for whom I am doing a FPA. So financial year 21-22, assessment year 22-23. This is one the same. So of course I have blurred out the identity features which doesn't suit us. So he's a salaried guy. So he has TDS being paid. He is a high valued salaried guy. Of course, in a government job only. So his salary is above 2.5 lakhs per month. So what is the amount of TDS which is being paid? When you open up your AIS, when you download it, you will find many entries as inactive and active. The active ones are the reported entries. The inactive would be the same entry below the active, which means the same entry was reported, but then it was corrected. So the inactive entry does not hold any value. If you see here, October, Q3, October to December, 31st December, it was reported as 70,200. Probably it was same when it was confirmed. The entry was reported as yes, it was fine. You may occasionally find a difference between these two entries when the data is collated. Sometimes error comes, but what is valid is the active entry. It does not mean both of these are entries. The inactive entries do not stand any validity, but they are kept for that purpose that the reporting agency, the bank or the financial institution or the government institution or the government department, whosoever has, in this case, it is a TDS, so it is a government department only who has paid the salary. They might have done a mistake because of oversight. So once they corrected it or the information was collated, it was found to be correct, they made the previous entry as inactive. So you can see multiple times they have been reporting the same to the income tax department. Now this is part B1. The TIS is part A, the AIS is part B. Then further continuing, salary received, information code, information source, and of course, then interest from others. See, probably any, maybe any bonds or anything kind of we must have received from any bank, IDFC Bank in this case. So the same entry is reported over there. In this payment, an amount of 2736 at the rate of 10% TDS was deducted. So TDS which was deposited reflects against the name. Again, this entry was reported twice, inactive and active. Then part B2 pertaining to SFT, specified financial transaction. This includes interest from all your saving bank accounts. I blurred out the bank names, of course, and the codes, but you can see the amount of banks along with your account number also and reporting date. As I told you, 31st May was the cutoff date for them. So most of them complied by that day on. So your account number, account type, interest amount, everything in detail along with the bank. Which bank is the information source? Everything is accounted for. All your bank account numbers, of course, I have blurred the account numbers and the bank name to prevent the identity leakage. Then what is most interesting is what never used to happen till last year. Post office accounts. Even the interest income from a post office account has been reported. This is the beauty of this AIS. So nothing is left now, even with your account number. You can only deny in the case that this account number does not belong to me. They will then contact you after validating, after getting the statement and say, this account statement shows your name. Do you still want to deny it? Then you have no option. So when they, rather than they giving you a chance to voluntarily comply, पहले खुद ही चेक कर लो क्या क्या है, सारी एंट्रीज आपके उसमें विजिबल हैं, आप सारी एंट्रीज को कैलकुलेट कर रहे हैं. कई लोग क्या करते हैं, चल 5 अकाउंट है सेविंग के, एक को छोड़ दो जिसमें सबसे ज्यादा है, ये 118 वाला सबसे ज्यादा है, इसको छोड़ दो, बाकियों का सेविंग इंटरेस्ट डाल देते. Now you can't even do that. Now you can't even do that. Then, of course, a term deposit also being reported. People never report term deposit or time deposit means same thing in the income tax language. Account number, time deposit, how much has the interest been paid? Every single penny would be accountable. जो दे रहे थे या कुछ छुपा रहे थे उनके लिए तो थोड़ा सा कुछ बड़ा, जो बिल्कुल कुछ नहीं कर रहे थे, जो बिल्कुल कुछ नहीं दे रहे थे, उनके लिए now this is an eye opener. बैंक में तो हर बंदा पैसे रखता है ना. If you are not reporting, this is the way you will get tracked. Now, the other way out is to keep it in black form, as I say, in your fall ceiling, in your AC, in your commode, in your wherever you want to keep, in your bunker, in your dungeon, wherever you want to keep it, you can do that. But then by not investing, you are losing out on the bright future, retirement scope, your scope of compounding, which we discussed last night. So everything is related to in there. So when you report actual income, you have to pay more tax. And that is the bane. The problem is we want to stick our income below 5 lakhs. So then this is the redemption of mutual funds done by that colleague. So whatever the price was there, of course, there will be a separate LTCG statement also, since many of them were bought, you can say, in the year 2015-16. So the LTCG, how much money he got actually, or how much was the tax applicable, everything would be visible. And for now, once this information source is there, once it is clear that this person has an LTCG, so even if he's a salaried guy, less than 50 lakhs means he files ITR 1, Sahaj. With this data coming into picture, he no longer can file ITR 1. He has to file ITR 2. So that thing also used to happen a lot. People file a wrong ITR. They used to conceal this information from their CA, share beches, mutual fund beches, CA ko kyun batana? And many times these things were not reported. At least the LTCG was never reported in the 26AS. But now everything is reported in the AIS. आपने म्यूचुअल फंड बेचे हैं, आपने शेयर बेचे हैं, कुछ भी. Then how much you purchased? बेचा तो ठीक है, परचेज क्या किया? DSP का खरीदा, प्राग पारिक खरीदा, ICICI का खरीदा. Again, you will have inactive and active entries depending upon the date. So the inactive entries means they were reported first, but then it was not valid, so they replaced it with a similar entry. So these 3 active entries would be valid and inactive entry would not be valid. कहाँ से खरीदा? CAM से खरीदा, KFIN से खरीदा, everything is available. Every agency is now required to comply with the government of India. उनका काम है रिपोर्ट करना इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट को, और वो आपकी कुंडली बना रहे हैं. This is exactly a Janam Kundali for everyone, irrespective of your religion, or you can say whatever culture you follow. Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai, income tax department सब हैं भाई भाई. So that is the bottom line I mean to say in that regard. So again, the further part of that B3, how much advance tax was paid. Of course, people would say, salaried बंदा है, सारा तो TDS कट गया, advance tax क्यों देना है? क्यों देना है? Because he has a lot of saving bank accounts also. उसकी भी income है, उसकी income के ऊपर tax department उसके employer ने नहीं काटा ना, उसके ऊपर penalty पड़ेगी, इससे अच्छा यही है. So last year he paid excess. He paid in the tone of maybe 9,000. So he got a refund amount of 10,600. 1600 ब्याज आ गया extra. This is the way. So again, part B7. Any TDS, employment date, employment ये 1 साल का होता है. कितनी आपकी ग्रॉस सैलरी है, कितने आपके परक्विजिट्स हैं, कितने प्रॉफिट्स हैं, everything is added over there. Now this was the AIS for a salaried. Now I will show you the TIS. Of course TIS पहले आता है, बट मैं आपको AIS पहले दिखाना चाहता था. अभी आपने उसी कलीग का मैं आपको TIS दिखाऊं. See, the TIS is like this. बिल्कुल consolidated statement जो आपने डाउनलोड कर ली है. I told you how to download it. You can rewatch the video. When you see it, you can be more clear about it कि कैसे TIS और AIS डाउनलोड करना. Of course, you will need your PAN login on the income tax website. That's it. No OTP, nothing else. So salary, interest from saving bank account, interest from term deposits, interest from other sources, sales of mutual funds, purchase of mutual funds. Whole summary, everything crisp and clear. So TIS is basically summarized version. AIS is the elaborate version of the same entries. You just saw salary में कितने TDS के उन्होंने काटे रिपोर्ट किए हुए हैं. Savings bank में सारे accounts from each bank with the date, with the interest सब डाल के, quarter wise नहीं डाला, month wise नहीं डाला, पूरे साल का इकट्ठा डाल के दे दिया. Now you have to be checking it out, all your individual entries total करके देखो हाँ इतना बनता है. There can be chances of an error, but those chances in this digital world, especially in the bank interest entries, are almost nil. 99.5% I would say they would be correct. 0.5% chances of, you can say, error there. Then interest from deposit, again they have given you a number. It is up to you to cross check it. हम लोग तो ये दिखाते ही नहीं थे, अब आपको क्रॉस चेक करना है. और अगर ये आपने नहीं डाला तो आपको लव लेटर आएगा कि आपके इंटरेस्ट AIS में ये ट्रांजैक्शन है, आपने इसका टोटल करके हमें नहीं दिया है, इसको दीजिए. इफ यू फॉल इन द 30% टैक्स ब्रैकेट विच शोज इट, तो इस 50,000 के ऊपर भी आपका 16,000 17,000 टैक्स जो बनेगा, यू हैव टू पे दैट. अगर लेट देंगे तो पेनल्टी भी पड़ेगी. सो दिस इज द इलैबोरेट फॉर्म ऑफ TIS कि इसका TDS कितना है, डिफरेंट वेज कितनी सैलरी थी, कितना एक्स्ट्रा इमोलुमेंट्स मिले हैं. बैंक name and interest mentioned over there with the value as we saw in the AIS, the same case only. Then your interest income from post office, then any bank securities, bonds or anything received, then your sale of mutual funds, your sale of equity oriented mutual fund from CAMS, from KFIN separately. Then purchase from which source, KFIN or CAMS, the same amount which has been purchased. A summarized version. इस साल में म्यूचुअल फंड कितने किए? So isn't it too expansive, too elaborate, too, you can say, informative in that regard that people you do it? Now this was for the salaried as a demo. Now I'll be showing you a self-employed similar AIS and TIS as a demo. Now the self-employed will not be having a TDS, of course, but he will have all the other sources. For example, in this colleague's case, there is dividend reported from various, you can say, various companies who have paid dividend. So dividend used to be tax-free till the previous year. From previous year, I mean 1920 till it was free. From 2021, it was taxable. Of course, in 21-22, it is also taxable. So whichever dividend you have received, dividend income separately, same, all the dividend received have been reported over here. Then information from savings account, similar way, which I showed you for the salaried. If you find an interesting thing, this guy has, this bank, whatever the bank's name is, has reported 3 entries. 2 of the entries are similar. One of the entries is different. And all 3 are active. So what it can be? 99% of the chance, I know it of course, 99% of the chance he's kept the same balance in his minor kid's savings account. This is the interest from there. So the interest from your minor child is also clubbed with your income in your AIS. Ultimately, the kids don't have a source of income. So that same is clubbed into your for additional tax to be paid. So people who thought that minor के income report करने की जरूरत ही नहीं है, आपको एक minor के income के ऊपर 1500 rebate मिलता है. If you have 2 children, जितना भी interest बनेगा minus 3000 कर देना 2 बच्चों के लिए. This is the way you get a rebate over there. So further similar things, savings interest, any interest on post office, time deposit, term deposit. Now the previous participant had sale of mutual funds. This guy has a sale of equity shares, listed equity shares sold. How much is the value? How much was the quantity? Which shares he sold? The block value has been given. Then the purchase, active and active both entries. So sale of mutual funds, Parag Parekh, Motilal Oswal, whatever you can say, from CAMS, from KFIN, everything is reported in there. So payment of taxes, the advance tax has been paid 1,25,000, and in the previous year an assessment tax of this amount was paid, a refund of this amount was given, or maybe later tax was paid, sorry, not the refund. So any demand and refund outstanding, no transaction present, it was there. So the taxpayer information sum, now the TIS for the self-employed, dividend, savings bank, income, trust for deposit, interest from others. अब जो income from other sources है, उसमें आपके IT डिपार्टमेंट ने आपकी ये सारी एंट्रीज चेक करनी, 4-6 एंट्रीज जो हैं सारी की सारी हैं कि नहीं है. नहीं है तो ऑटोमेटिकली आपको लव लेटर आएगा. रिपोर्टेड वैल्यू, वैल्यू आफ्टर प्रोसेसिंग, value derived after considering the feedback. That is the reason it is 3 values are given sometimes. Reported value, processed value, derived value. If you find that मेरे को interest 11,963 नहीं आया था, मेरे को interest आया था 10,825. If you have the proof for that, you don't need to submit the proof, just correct the entry. Usually within 3 to 4 days, the entry is corrected online. Usually it happens, they claim that it happens real time, but sometimes it reflects after 3 to 4 days. 10,825 था मेरा, 2 दिन बाद रिपोर्टेड वैल्यू यही रहेगी, प्रोसेस्ड वैल्यू आपकी चेंज होके यहाँ पे डिराइव्ड वैल्यू आ जाएगी 10,825. You file your return based on 10.825 only. It is their problem when they reconcile and check with the source कि आपने इसका गलत रिपोर्ट किया. When they find that the source is okay, they will shut the case there and then only. But if they don't find the case to be okay, then they will recontact you that our source has confirmed it, so you recomply with that. वो 1,100 रुपए अगर जो आपने कम क्लेम किए हैं उसके ऊपर फिर से आपको टैक्स देना पड़ा तो 300-400 रुपए और देना पड़ेगा if the entry at your end is wrong. So interest received, listed equity shares, listed debentures, whatever has been sold is been there. Again, the TIS has the summary format only. कहाँ से बेचा, कहाँ से खरीदा, everything is reported over there. Every number is there. And trust me, it makes life easy for you also. It gives you a number at least to start with, so that you can do a backward entry. कि पीछे से जाके देखो टोटल करके कि क्या बना. And people claim it कि हमने तो देखा ही नहीं. When you open it up, download along with your, this is your PAN number with your date and time, of course, year, month, date, time, और ये इससे पहले PAN number, IP address, download date. ये देखिए 23/6/2022 7:02. 23/6/2022 7:02. This is the way they do it. So what is the carry home gyan for today? The AIS has two components. One of them is information summary TIS, and the other one is detailing of the same information that you find in TIS. We had only 26AS which had tax deducted details, वो gross details होती थी. इसमें fine tuned details है, and it is much better. The 2021 was better than 1920. The 2122 is way better than even 2122. Everything is being covered over there. So government has expanded the scope of details. It is basically to increase tax compliance by those non-filers who still don't want to come under the tax net. So it is a better compliance way. Government gives you a fair and square chance to present your side. So AIS is nothing but a statement of financial transactions furnished by the various entities in respect to your PAN. So in case you find that certain transactions don't belong to you, you can report them that I told you reported, derived, and processed and derived value. You can get a correction done. If they are supposed to do it real time, but sometimes it takes about 3 to 4 days to reflect upon it. So if you are investing in mutual funds jointly, the value of the fund reported in the AS might be higher because mutual funds are required to report the transactions against all holders. So कई बारी duplication of data हो जाता है. वैसे भी मैं तो advise करता हूँ mutual fund should be in single name along with the nominee. So in such a case you need not worry as such differences explainable कि ये joint था इसलिए double दे रहा है. आपको 5 लाख के दिखा रहा है, आपने 2-2.5 लाख के किए हैं, so the entries might be double. So if there are transactions of the nature which you did not enter into, report such inaccuracy online. Deny the information. I told you is correct, is partially correct, where you find कि हाँ gains हैं मेरे, लेकिन 11,000 कुछ नहीं है, 10,800 कुछ है. It is partially correct. और it belongs to previous year. पिछले साल में मैं इसके ऊपर टैक्स दे चुका हूँ, पिछले साल की एंट्री, या similar way, या you deny the information that this is not my transaction. So people who deal with black money will have to now worry about. Otherwise, the honest taxpayers don't need to bother. They will have absolutely nothing to bother about. As and when this AIS system stabilizes, the income tax department will discontinue Form 26A. Because 26AS की सारी details already AIS में आ रही हैं. But because of the reasons I told you, we have to do. So what is the moral of the story today? The moral of the story is ignorance is not bliss. It is just ignorance. Admit the lack of knowledge and take the time to learn and understand. चाहे CA करे आपको awareness होनी चाहिए. If it is also meaning that it means that you get out of your comfort zone and take action on something that you have royally ignored in the past. I work myself very hard to educate and upgrade myself. So value that effort, please. It is truly about education and awareness and supporting those around us who lack the same. Unfortunately, the number who don't know the same or lack this knowledge is huge around us, I mean, the dentists. So ignorance is not bliss, ignorance is poverty, ignorance is devastation, ignorance is tragedy, and ignorance is illness. It all stems from ignorance. Jim Rohn said it, I did not say it. So if you are not aware of your AIS-TIS-26AS till now, even if after my session you still remain ignorant, it is a choice. I always say this thing, life is all about choices. Make sure you make good ones. So thank you so much for a patient hearing. We almost exactly finished in 60 minutes allotted to it. So this is my WhatsApp community where I notify the sessions. So you can join the sessions, or you can join my community. Very soon we'll be transitioning into a 512 format. And of course, in the first or second week of July, most likely first week only. If you want to be added in an advertisement free group, most welcome. To send me a message, I will add you over there. So this is my YouTube channel. Do subscribe to the channel. There are a lot of videos for colleagues education. I keep on posting a lot of videos. All these videos will go on YouTube, but eventually a few of the videos will reach YouTube by 12th or 13th of July. Whatever I'll be taking today, I mean. So do send me your feedback on my cell, on my page, on my YouTube channel, wherever you watch it. Bookers and bookpads both will be welcome in equal manner. So thank you so much, and I stop my share for queries. Firstly from the chat box, then acknowledging the visitors from my FB page and picking up any queries if there are any. Okay. Okay, Dr. Raghu says, thank you very much for a wonderful explanation. Thank you, Raghu. Thanks a lot for your efforts. I appreciate it. So one doubt, Raghu says, post office agent asked me not to furnish the details of post office RD account as it is not reflected in 26 AS. Please guide on it. If he still says so, he is the biggest idiot on earth. If he still says so. I told you 26 AS was never expansive. It was never elaborate. AIS is mentioning everything right in front of you. The term deposits, the saving account deposits, everything is mentioned over there. So CAs only give the wrong advice. That is why this is being followed. I showed you a latest AIS. It has been downloaded on 23rd of June. Just 7 days, 1 week before only. So if you can see the date and the timestamp, I take special effort. I landed from my vacation on 22nd. I finalized the topics and my one-to-one sessions, whatever I was supposed to take on 22nd only. 23rd, I had already started with the presentation and they were ready almost many days back. So everything is now reported. You, rather than he telling you this thing, I've told you the way. You download your AIS and TS and see whether your post office RD is visible in there or not. And then get back to me. Then I'll ask. And then get back to him also with the same question. Sir, should I show RD or not? And if he still says that, no, Raghu, you don't need to show RD and your AIS is showing it already, it is time for you to change your CA. It is time for you to change your CA because he is not updated or upgraded. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Bindu, for your feedback. Thank you, Dr. Stravani, for your feedback. Okay, thank you, Dr. Gajanan. Dr. Gajanan, you just finished the finance workshop, so you must have found so many new things in there which were not there in that session also, in the paid session also. So, of course, there is furthermore also on this, which usually is there, but then a few things are to be kept in loop for further progress as well. So what is the password? Dr. Bhavna says, what is the password to open AIS and TIS in downloaded form? Earlier, there used to be a ambiguity between both the things. Now, your PAN number in small, followed by your date, month, and exact year of birth. DD, MM, YYYY format. Means 2 for date, 2 for month, 4 for year. For example, my password is, for example, BHAV, my PAN is, let's suppose, BHAV 2345A, and my date of birth is 6976. So BHAV 2345A in small letters followed by 06091976 is my password to open up my AIS and TIS. That will be there. Now this has been uniform. Everything opens up in small caps followed by date of birth. Okay, so the PAN number has to be unique of yours only. Bhav is not my PAN number. I just gave you an example. So don't try to open up with the same password, any one of you. Okay. So Dr. Sabyasachi asked if we get some gift from parents online, what is being, and that is being invested, what will be about it, as they are not part of the salary. If it is a high value transaction, even from the parents, it will be reported. It will be reported even though it is digital. You always can say it is a gift. They'll always can mark a query. So that is absolutely okay. You are a salaried guy with the clinic, I guess. So if you are having such income, that will be reported in your balance sheet. If you are reporting your self-employment income, it will be reported in your balance sheet as a gift. So there is no point in you can say feeling different about it. But if you are not showing your clinic income, then it is a matter of concern sometimes. Is SGB interest received is also reported? Yes, very soon it will be there. Till now it is not there, but बहुत जल्दी वो भी आएगा. It is elaborating in scope. पोस्ट ऑफिस नहीं आता था, वो आ गया इस साल. अगले साल तक वो भी आ जाएगा SGB का भी. अभी तो नहीं है फिलहाल. इस साल का नहीं आया. Okay. So let me just acknowledge the visitors on my website, on my FB page. Hi, Dr. Mustafa. Hi, Dr. Parul. Hello, Dr. Smita. Good morning. Hello, Dr. Rohit. Hello, Dr. Good morning, Dr. Parul. Hello, Ramchandra sir. Good morning. Hi, Ridzend. Good morning. Hello, Dr. Parminder Grover. Hello, Dr. Lalit Goyal. Hello, Dr. Ajay Gupta. Good morning. Hello, Dr. Viresh. Good morning. Hello, Dr. Rajiv Chuk sir. Good morning. Hello, Dr. SP Singh sir. Good morning. Hello, Dr. Sonia Tinna ma'am. Thank you so much. Very informative. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your feedback. Hello, Dr. Ramchandra sir. Thank you for your feedback. Dr. Parul, thank you so much for your feedback. So guys, remember the bottom line, remember the moral of the story. Ignorance is not bliss. If you don't know certain things, it does not mean they don't exist. So it is time that you realize that I have been saying this almost since 3 years now. The noose is tightening around us. The noose is tightening around us slowly and steadily. The only thing, people who complied with it and realized it, I have nothing to explain. बट जिन्होंने कुछ भी नहीं किया, पहले कुछ रिपोर्ट नहीं किया, अब सडनली इवन हाई इनकम्स आ गई हैं उसके अंदर. पीपल हैड लॉट ऑफ ह्यूज डिपॉजिट्स इन पोस्ट ऑफिस, दे नेवर रिपोर्टेड इट. तो आरडी तो बहुत दूर की बात है, दे हैड एमआईएस एनएससीज इन देयर, दे नेवर रिपोर्टेड इट. बट अब इकट्ठी आ गई हैं, दे विल हैव अ लॉट ऑफ एक्सप्लेनेशन टू डू इन केस एनी क्वेरी कम्स. So if you have been having this, you might be having further also. Please disclose your previous years also. So एक इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट को दरवाजे में घुसने के लिए एक सिर्फ हाथ ही चाहिए या एक लिटिल फिंगर ही चाहिए. लिटिल फिंगर से वो पूरा दरवाजा खोल लेंगे आपके एसेट्स का. लायबिलिटीज की तो उनको जरूरत नहीं है, एसेट का सारा दे विल ओपन अप द डोर्स. सो इफ यू हैव बीन इग्नोरिंग दीज थिंग्स, डोंट इग्नोर इट, बिकॉज ट्रस्ट मी, nobody will teach you AIS and TIS in this elaborate form. If someone teaches you, it will never be for free. So value some things in life which come to you free of cost. So yes sir, it's every information, all transactions with PAN number with any financial or non-financial, non-banking financial institution, NBFCs also will come in AIS through the income tax department only. They have to comply and report the same before 31st of May. If they report it, the AIS is ready and it is uploaded. It was uploaded in the first week of June itself. So everything needs to be accountable. एक एक पाई का हिसाब होगा आने वाले टाइम में. Every money would be accountable. So the option would only be to keep it black. If you keep it black, you're limiting your scope of further growing in life, saving for your retirement, investing for your retirement, the things that we discussed last night. So everything is connected with each other. The rest is all about choices. Okay, yes, Dr. Sabyasachi, thank you so much for your feedback. So guys, that's it for now. We meet again in the afternoon at 3 p.m. But of course, not on Zoom link. I'll be meeting you through the FB Live only in the afternoon for a session on practice management on HR, one of the favorite topics of my dad again. And in the evening, I'll be sharing the Zoom link login for evening. And because it was morning, I did not lock the Zoom room after 7 also. I specified in the instructions But in the evening around 8:05, we'll be locking up the Zoom room, whosoever is there. So they can't log in back if you log off. The other option is you can watch it on the FB page. Zoom link will be shared for the evening session with you. In the afternoon, only FB Live is there. There is no Zoom. So thank you so much, Dr. Raghu, for your feedback. Thank you, guys. Take care. Have a great day ahead. Lot much in store for you. Make sure you use all that.